How many of you have the experience of a manifestation? And as the manifestation is unfolding, you recognize the vibrational work that you had done in advance. That's what pre-paving is. That sets you up for this now manifestation. And so if you understand vibration, and if you understand emotion, and you do something about contouring your thoughts for the purpose of the good feeling emotion, and then the action and other ideas are inspired from that basic place of alignment, everything will go better for you. And in the long run, you'll have much more consistent alignment with who you really are. So let's walk through this. Let's say that for whatever reason, you're in a bad mood. And let's say that your partner, for whatever reason, isn't. So he comes and he talks you in to a sexual engagement. Just flow with us a little bit. And so one of you is eager and wanting, the other one not so much, but you're conforming and you decide to just go with it, and so you do. And during the process, these things happen. These things that are always conducive to alignment. Because of the situation that is occurring, you are distracted from other things that have been keeping you out of the vortex. And because there is also memory of positive things from before, it's easy for you to get into the flow of that. And so after a while, you get in sync with it and you have a nice experience, which makes you come to the conclusion that you were presenting to us here, that if you have more of those kinds of experiences, then things just go better generally. And we're not disagreeing that that can be the case. But what we really want you to hear is that if you have been tending to your alignment and your partner has been attending to his alignment, then the inspiration for those delicious intimacies are going to occur much more often. And in every other way, conversations are sweeter. Walks in the park are sweeter. Even conversations about things that have been bothering you or that you're working on are sweeter. Everything's better when you're in alignment. And so this really ties in powerfully with what we were talking about the like-mindedness. It's about you getting in sync with who you are. And when you get in sync with who you are, the likelihood of you helping someone else get in sync with who they are is really, 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 really strong. In other words, when you're loving someone, when you're tuned in to that source energy and you're holding someone as your object of attention, even if they're still at work, even if they're across town or across the world, even if they're not right there with you, your attention upon anyone, when you are in vibrational alignment with who you really are, is powerful, powerful attention. And they will feel the love that you are projecting if they are anywhere in the vicinity of it, you see. So if you have the benefit of having two people who understand that, who are simultaneously caring about how they feel and are working to feel good more of the time, then there'll be much more of that intimacy, much more of that intertwining, much more of that alignment, much more alignment on all subjects of your life experience.
Do people grow together learning this? Do they ever meet in a bad area of their life and then start to become in sync with themselves, and they're able to
of course, together? Because everyone who now is in the midst of a relationship was not tuned into source energy when they came together. Law of attraction brought them together. It is accurate to say they were on a very similar wavelength or they wouldn't be together. They had things that they agreed upon on lots of subjects or they wouldn't be together. So it's a very common thing for one before the other to become aware of this alignment and to foster or discover a desire within themselves to be more like-minded with the source within them. And then sometimes the other one bounces out of their experience and sometimes the other one comes along in a stronger way. But you can't take responsibility for what anybody else is doing. Also, there's something that we really want to say here, and that is we hear it really often from people in these rooms, in fact. And it goes something like this: Abraham, I'm often in much more alignment than my partner. I do the work, my partner doesn't do the work. I'm much more in alignment than my partner. And we say, and yet in this moment with these words, you are not. Because the source within you is not making that distinction ever about your partner. And so it's easy to say, well, I feel this way because of what my partner is doing, but that doesn't fly. alignment is alignment and misalignment is misalignment. And so that's why it becomes really a wonderful thing when you take everybody else out of the equation and you just form a partnership with your inner being. The like-mindedness is what you're reaching for. And what anybody else is doing is irrelevant to your equation. Really irrelevant to your equation. Because when you're in sync with your inner being, you love them all anyway. You don't need them to do this or do this or do this or do this to please you. You are already pleased. You're pleased by the resources of alignment of the universe, you see. So many people are looking for love in all the wrong places. Okay, Abraham, so this is the way I'm reading this. So I come, I do the work, I get into alignment, and then I will focus my alignment on that unaligned person over there. And immediately you're not in alignment because your judgment that that person is unaligned, not aligned, out of alignment, makes you not in alignment either. And then you lose your connection and you feel it and then you blame them.
I've often found myself when I'm looking at somebody and feeling something negative, when I'm present enough, able to say, what would my inner being be doing about this right now? And then I change.
Or let's say that better. What is my inner being doing about this right now? Because the fact that I feel this way means my inner being is doing something different about this right now.
Right.
What might it be? Don't be hard on yourself because you cannot sometimes find immediate perspective with your inner being. Esther argues with us occasionally.
You're being
Abraham,
generous.
Clearly you need more information about this person that I feel this way about. But we have far more information than Esther has about them, and we have a much longer view of them, and we have a very clear, very strong opinion of love about them, and Esther can sync up with it or not. It's up to her, you see. Yeah. Your partners, your physical partners, you do to them and they do to you a disservice because your physical partners will contour what they think in order to please you.
I think I do that way more in my relationship than he contours. Hey, he's much better at staying on his course. I think it appears.
Now, you see, your inner being wouldn't tell it that way. Your inner being would never say, he does something better than you do.
Oh, yeah, my inner being would say, I do it better.
Your inner being would say, everything's on track. You're living just as you intended to live. You're feeling better more and more and more of the time. Nothing's gone wrong here. Nothing to panic over. No big adjustments to make. Your inner being would say, we want you to be joyful in every thought, in every moment. And some say, is that possible? And we say, absolutely, because your inner being is doing it. And then you say, well, is it likely for me to do it while I'm here in this physical body every minute? We say, no, but you certainly can practice a propensity for it. But what is required is what has already happened within you here today. What is required in order for joyful experience to be more the experience that you're living is that you have to accept that there is another mind that you are seeking alignment with, that it is your broader perspective of who you are, and that it holds a perspective now. Not before you were born and not last week, right now. Your inner being is in on every single thing that you are thinking and projecting its point of view about this. And that's why you have emotion. Don't you like knowing that? Whew. So you could say, I am so mad at you, and one of the reasons that I'm so mad at you is because my inner being refuses to be mad at you. My inner being continues to love you, even though my human being doesn't believe that you deserve to be loved. But my inner being still loves you. I've been trying to explain to my inner being your flaws. But my inner being is extremely stubborn about you. My inner being loves you, loves you, loves you, loves you. And I've just got to decide whether I'm going to stick to my guns about how rotten you are and sacrifice my alignment with my inner being, who I'm mad at right now too, because my inner being, if my inner being would feel about you like I feel about you, then there'd be no split between us. If my inner being would be like-minded with me, yeah, that's it. That's what I want. I want my inner being to agree with me. And we say, really, you don't. You don't. You want to be all that you've become. And you want to continually reach for that alignment. Yeah.
I so appreciate you and love you so much. Thank you so much for everything.
You are in sync with your inner being right now. Because that's how your inner being feels about us too.
Do our inner beings know each other?
Yes. But did you hear what we said?
Yes, I did.
When you're having mutual love with each other, you could say, our inner beings are really enjoying us right now, aren't they?
Very good.
Try it. You'll like it.
Yes.